There we go. Yeah, so Infineon Raceway, 17 laps to go. Not an oval this time, so that's exciting. Mecha Spider in the lead this time, right next to Scott Matthews. Constantly really good qualifying. Hope it will aid them this time to win, actually, or even at least a good position. They could definitely need it if they want to make it to the playoffs. Quadfall in third, and Vincent Meadow right next to them. Again, two cars that could really do with the points. Jazz Cranston and Keramic Desu in the third lane. The flock car of Chiquita Milka in the fourth, right next to Jazz Attainment. Raven Cornwell and Abara in the fifth. Jerry Meadow and Brian Henderson, Joseph Peter Pinkelman and Speedy McZoom Zoom, Jaffa Cake and Binglepin. Noah Niola the winner. Dude, this is exciting. Noah Niola and Wilfried Schrock next to each other. Alana Bodell and Avenza Flauchild again pretty far in the back. Fast Boy and the Avenger in the last lane, in the second to last lane, and the Avenger this time not in last, only in second to last. Last place, of course, belongs to Jane Sen, and we are just going to follow them through the first lap behind the wheel of Jane Sen's car, because this way we'll see if anyone dies. But sadly, watch people crash it because, yeah, I forgot to turn right. Team Papega has experience in turning right pockets, but normally not when they are supposed to. The paramedic that had to treat Max last week, also Max last week. So yeah, so far doesn't seem anything wrong. So just to talk you through the track, we basically after the straight from the start finish, we have like a bit of a climb. We have a bit of an elevation change, and driving down the hill again. I think into a hairpin. It's actually a hairpin. Into a hairpin right here. Oh no, it's not that much of a hairpin. Into a bit of a slower section of the track, as you can see. Bit of a traffic jam right now building. Turning right for the first time as we are supposed to, when we are supposed to. So now we have a bit of an S corner going on here, left and right. We might want to actually go into an above view. I think that's better. Yeah, I think this works. Yeah, definitely like a double S corner over here. Let's actually follow the lead car. That's better. And we have a really, really tight, really round corner. So this is definitely one of the more slower tracks, because you actually need to pay attention and not just go into in an oval. Pretty long bend straight over here. So it's not really just going straight here, but this is definitely one more of the, I believe, one of the more faster places on the track. Again into an S bend. Cursive M corner. Yeah, this is a cursive M corner. So this is basically one of the last few parts of the track where you can also go into the pit lane, as the pit pace car is right now demonstrating. Pretty long, really, really round corner. Mecha Spider slowing down way too much. That's gonna cost them for the start of the race. They because right there's the start and stop, start and finish. Jesus Christmas. Okay, so it didn't cost them that much because they're still under pace. As soon as they hit the straight here, they are able to accelerate. They are allowed to accelerate, I believe. Right now they are, and we are off. Mecha Spider and Scott Matthews leading us into the Infineon Raceway Race 4. First time we are going into a track that isn't an oval. So let's see if we'll ever visiting one of these tracks again. We'll see if this works out. And before you ask, if you are not familiar with NASCAR, this race is actually, or was, I don't know if it still is, in the actual schedule of the NASCAR season. So no, this is not a mod. This is actually one of the tracks that the NASCAR season goes to. I think there's 2 of these road tracks, maybe 3. I don't know, that they are traveling to. So far, nothing too exciting happened. A few overtakes. Chiquita Milka overtaking a few people, going into 5th, I believe. So now we have our 3-car lead. Scott Matthews definitely still pretty much dominating the race, leaving McIntyre in the dust. They seem to be kind of a slow car, might be getting overtaken by Vincent Meadow. As we are finishing the first lap of the race, McIntyre is still in 2nd. So right now we still have the order from the qualifying intact. Vincent Meadow 3rd. I think they also started 3rd. Quadful 4th. Kawami Desu. This might be a track where a good qualifying actually pays dividends. The Avenger now in last again, in the place where it feels the most comfy, I think. Jane Sen in 2nd to last. Fastboy. We're just gonna go up the order a bit so we can see every car. Noah Niola. This maybe. I mean, last race we didn't think they're gonna do that good, but then halfway through they were taking names and finishing in 1st. Fastboy, that the black car with the pink polka dots was taking that corner really weirdly, but luckily they didn't crash into anything, even if it kind of looked like it. Not oval feels weird, man. Yeah, I know, right? Let's see. We are going into the 3rd lap already. This is going by like a fly. Ryan Henderson 10th and 11th. Raven Cornwell 9th. Just at last lap in 8th. Will they actually take some points home? 4th Team Fireband. Let's see. This could be interesting. Jess Cranston 6th. Another car from Ogiri Hill that actually might score points here. Kawai Desu, we said that before and they didn't deliver, but maybe today's the day. Scott Matthews still in the lead. Actually build up quite a bit of a lead in front of Mecha Spider. Mecha Spider still not letting Vincent Meadow pass. Fighting, letting them know that this is their place. Not letting them pass at all. Hey Pepega, can you cause a crash real quick? How much are you gonna pay? $5 per car that retires. Oh god. I mean, it's definitely gonna be a bit tougher because the speeds are just not as high on this track. But I believe in the ability of Team Pepega to make a huge fucking ruckus. I don't think much changed in the back. Flowerchild right now taking Jeff Kick on the inside. Super Bingle but Flowerchild may be taken again. I think they can keep the 70th position for now. Super Bingle, Cheryl Meadow, Joseph Peter Winkelmann. I think Raven Cornwell not doing too bad in the 9th. I don't know why they are proposing to cause a caution. I don't know if that's too beneficiary for them. Maybe if they crash up front here, but Team Pepega is nowhere to be seen. 10 if it's Jameson. Somehow I feel my world is safe. 80. So yeah, I wonder how many and when the first pit stop will hit, because of course we have the fuel and tire consumption on four times the usual. So basically, because we are on 15% race length, that means we'll have pretty much the same amount of pit stops than this race would have in its normal length, of course shortened down, and probably 1 or 2 pit stops less because we're at 15%, not 25. But it's pretty interesting here because a brazen pit strategy could really cost you. In one of the ovals, especially the short ones, like going one or few laps more isn't a bit of an issue, because if you start slipping and if you start just losing a few seconds because of your tires, losing grip. You still can recover because you can go into the pits fairly quickly. Here you only have one chance every now and then. So if you are going too risky, you might be paying it. You might be paying the price and landing in the infield. So simple. Jane slows down a bit so that she can crash the first few cars and retire everybody that isn't Kawhi, me, and Joseph. Yeah, that sounds about right. Scott Matthews still in the lead. No one really able to catch him right now. Finally, a race where maybe qualifying actually pays off. It would be good because right now the qualifying stat is not really doing a good way of showing its worth. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? So, quite a few cars in the front few points that could really need them, like Godful and Vincent Meadow, of course. If they still want to make it into the playoffs, then they'll need quite a bit of a boost here. They need to have a few big race, or not even. They don't necessarily need like a big race, but definitely need a few to make some points up, because they fell down quite a lot. Just Cranston, Chiquita Milka, also one of these cars that hasn't really been showing up at all. Just Attainment in 8th might be a top 10 finish for them, but right now getting overtaken by Raven Control maybe depends on how they take the next turn. No, actually going to the pits. We're having our first pit stop at 6 laps into the race. Pretty much everybody seems to be pitting, so it will be interesting to see who comes out of the pits first. Where's the pit cam? Where's the pit cam? There's actually a car not going to pits. A few actually. Fastboy, Elana Bordel not going to the pits, but most cars seem to, pretty much 20 out of 23 seem to go for the pits. Mecha Spider, of course, with the lead with the front space right in front of Scott Matthews, Quadful and Vincent Meadow, Kawaii Desu and Jess Cranston. Let's see who is able to turn out of the pits first. That's Scott Matthews. Right behind is Vincent Meadow overtaking Mecha Spider in the pits. Mecha Spider third, Quadful fourth, Jess Cranston, Chiquita Milka, Raven, Cromwell in 7th. Speed Max Zoom, Vince Flouch have a really good pit again. Pinkelman, that's 3 cars right next to each other. Kawaii Desu seeming to struggle in the pits again. Super Bingle quite far behind. Sharon Meadow last out. Of course, we'll have some more cars coming into the pits soon. I believe there was Elana Bordel in the front of that pack. Let's see. Right now going to the pits as well. We'll see how they go into the race again. I think it's only them and Fastboy actually pitting 1 lap late. Let's see if that actually pays off. On the other hand, oval tracks have a -2 because losing 3 or 4 seconds on oval means losing tons of places, possibly ending you at the end of the pack. On the big track, that's much less of a thing. Yeah, not wrong. So yeah, now we have Landa Bodell and Fastboy. Maybe they are now able to basically squeeze past because they did 1 more lap on the old tires. Maybe they can even go 1 less pit stop. Position between them doesn't seem to change. Landa Bodell coming out of them first. Scott Matthews overtaking them. Vincent Meadow in second. Definitely in second. There's nothing. There's Squadful in third. Jazz Cranston, Chiquita Milka, Speedy McZoom, Alana Bordel now in 7th. Might be overtaken by Flowerchild. 7th or 8th. It's 7th for Bordel in front of Avensis Flowerchild. No, actually. Oh, it's a fight for 7th. I think it's 7th. So yeah, if that's 7th, that's 8th, and Fastboy in 10th. Mecha Spider fell back to 12th position in this whole hassle. Bordel actually not able to keep position. Flowerchild taking that place from them. They kept the door open, and Dale and Flowerchild is one of the people that would take that. So as you can see, Scott Matthews in the lead. The lead to the second place was a bit melting a bit right now. Vincent Meadow quite close to the butt of the 00, but the third place is quite far away, so they have a bit of race of their own. Both of them in Pontiacs. Third car is a Dodge. We haven't really talked about the cars yet. Fourth also Dodge. Fifth, I think that's a Ford, I believe. No, that's a Chevrolet. And that's a Pontiac as well. It's a Pontiac as well. Most of the cars are Pontiacs and Dodge. I don't know if... I think we had 7 Pontiacs. Ford were 4. And Chevrolet... Either Chevrolet or Dodge were also 7. And one of them was 5. I think 5 Dodges and 4 Chevrolets. Raven also in the Chevy. Alana Bordel in a Pontiac. Fastboy, one of the few Fords in the field. Right now the best Ford. Pontiac of Winfrey Schrock. Mecha Spider also in a Ford. Pontiac. Jaffa Cake. I think right now on the leaderboard the best Ford out of the 4 Fords. Jane Sen is in a Chevrolet, I believe. Chevrolet for Jess Entertainment as well. Dodge for Brian Henderson. And the last of the 4 Fords is the Avenger. And now 19th. So maybe even catching a few points. Of course not that much, but it's something. Super Bingle fell down to 20th. 21st, Kawaii Desu. They, I don't know, it goes so well until the pits, and then it's the pits. Abara in 22nd, and in last round, Sharon Meadow, despite her teammate doing so well. Of course, the husband of the CEO of Meadow Industries, Winston Meadow, in first. Fucking hell, my pit crew's asleep. Bingo, just wake them up. Give them, like, be like, if you do good, you'll get a free commission or whatever. Pega, for your information, I pay nothing if any of my team are even involved in the crash. There was no mention of that in the deal. How about... Or you'll do, like, all the marketing as you do for me. That'd be pretty good. Marketing for the pit crew, because pit crew needs marketing. If you do bad, I'll recycle every single one of you. How do you recycle a person, Winkle? I'm concerned for their health. The team boss of Bingle Pins, of the car of Super Bingle, not really happy with their performance, but at least their teammate doing really well. Grateful in third. They could really do with these points. Right now, the first 3 cars, a bit of the underdogs. Cars that aren't really doing good on the ovals, but apparently just these tracks are really their thing. Cows are the only meat. Bingo! Don't make pit crew burgers. That's probably against some laws. Jess Cranston 4th. Shakira Milka also one of the cars that are far behind. Speedy McZoom Zoom also could do with some points. Avance's Flower Child again, despite starting pretty far behind in 8th again, 7th even. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. Raven Cromwell in 8th, 9th for Alana Bordel. So we actually have 2 Meadow Incorporated cars in the top 10. Fastboy in 10th, Finfish Schrock in 11th. Also, of course, could do with the points. Megaspan 12th, Pinkelman, Jaffa Cake, Sen. Just the last name in 16th now. I think they were in the top 10 as well. So let's see if they can escape the red lantern of last place and not stay there for the whole week. Can I order some of your pit crew roast after this? Pre-orders being accepted now. Bingo, stop it. Position in this race designated how many crew I recycle. Jeez. Bengal is such a mean person. I don't even know if I want to meet him in London. I fear for my safety if I meet him. We are now in lap 12, so I believe we should see a second pit stop anytime now, which will probably lead to our final standings, basically. That would probably I would assume that leads us into our last in our race order, leaves us into a race order. So this is very important. Vincent Middle not pitting yet. Scott Matthews into the pits first. Godfall also not pitting yet. Skida Milka, Speedy McZoom, Elena Bodell not pitting. Jazz Cranston, Vincent Flowchild also pitting. So it's an interesting strategy. Maybe they want to save their tires. I'm not sure what's going on. Let's see if this benefits them. They'll definitely have fresher tires for longer, so maybe that helps towards the end to do the last few laps a bit faster. Where's the pit crew? There we go. Maybe that helps in the fast few stretches to catch the first cars. That's Avensis Flowerchild turning out of the pits first. Are they going to take the lead? Jazz Cranston right next to him. Scott Matthews. What happens to Scott Matthews? Scott Matthews not turning out. Avensis Flowerchild, Jazz Cranston, Raven Quandwell, Winfrey Schrock all overtaking. Pinkelman, Jane Sen, Jaffa Cake. What's going on? Just the last name. Everybody turning out of the pits before Matthews. Something's going wrong. Is the car out? Are you out? Are you just not driving anymore? You taking a break? Okay. Alright. I think MIRD about to die. Matthews forgot that the race is still going on. Maybe. Probably just took a pee. Stop calling me him. I'm sorry. Not... me. I said made them. I see them. I made it neutral. Vincent Meadow into the pits next to right behind Godfall. I said them, not him. Maybe I forgot the race is still going on. Yeah, Panic Basket. Megaspire. Okay, I was about to say I thought they're going out already. That's Vincent Meadow turning out pretty early. We'll follow them to see if they are going into lead. Vincent Meadows, that looks like a lead take from them. Godful in second. I don't know. There's Chiquita Milka and Avensis Flowerchild fourth and fifth. No, third and fourth actually. Milka and fourth. Speedmake Zoom fifth. Jess Cranston sixth actually now, despite turning out of the pits first in after the first pit stop, basically after the second pit stop. The first batch of pit stops. Alana Bodell, Whitfish Shock also coming out of them pretty well. Fastboy, Pinkelman, Cronwell, Jane Sen, Jaffa Cake, Brian Henderson, Noniola, Super Bingle, just the last name, he's a hero, gotta do mediocre at best. Ceramic Desu, and I think he's now in Mega Spider and Scott Matthews. I believe something went wrong at the pits there, because I don't really have any other excuse for that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe we'll get some confirmation after the race. Right now we have Vincent Meadow pretty alone in the lead. Yeah, pretty alone, pretty far ahead, front of Godful and also Avensis Flowerchild. So we'll definitely have Avensis Flowerchild being in the overall lead after this race, because none of the cars that could pretty much catch him in the overall standings are right now in front of him. Speedy McZoom not even behind him. There's not really, like, none of his competitors are anywhere near him. Fastboy in 9th, so Flowerchild will probably benefit from this the most from this race. They will probably take the lead quite sternly. Pinkelman in 10th might be taking Fastboy here, because most of the cars that are in the tops right now are in the top 10 right now are basically more towards the back of the pack after the first 3 races. Jaffa Cake, of course, one of the contestants for first at the moment. Not good enough. Jensen also only in 12th. Jaffa Cake at 13th. Brian Henderson also usually in top 10 now in 14th. Noah Niola, pretty flip-flop, pretty hit or miss so far in 15th. Super Bingle 16th. Just Entertainment in 17th. The Avenger, Ababa, Terry Meadow in 20th, Kawaii this in 21st, and yeah, the 2 cars that are just stuck in the pits. I said them, I didn't say him. God, why did you do that? Why did you ram Matthews when he's already parking? It's just my playstyle. Maybe he wakes up. Just a friendly there's a race going on nudge. They just went on board. How did that happen again? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I assume that either the game just kind of shit itself, or there's actually they actually had a failure in the pit. I don't know if that's a possibility with this game, that they, I don't know, just kind of had a failure while doing the pits. That's a thing that happens in real life. I don't know if they programmed this in for this game. We are going to the last lap. Vincent Meadow leading in front of Godfall. Pretty eventless race so far, except for the pretty long, just them parking in the pit. Scott Matthews and Mecha Spider, of course. Oh, they're actually out of the pits again. I don't know if they are driving now. We have a caution. We have a caution in the last lap. Why do we have a caution? Who died? Oh my god. I see a dent in Mecha Spider's store. So let's see what happened. So I'd assume they are involved in this. I guess not. Huh. I saw the yellow light, so but I didn't really think much of it because I didn't see a pace car. So, So yeah, Mecha Spider and also Scott Matthews driving again, so that's a good sign at least. Apparently we had a caution for quite a while. Oh, there's a lot of dirt. I think I saw Jess Krantz. Oh, jeez. Okay. Apparently I barked up the wrong tree because I saw the Jaffa Cake car having a bit of trouble there. So I definitely saw an orange car. So yeah, that's Jaffa Cake ramming into the, now just turning into the, so Mecha Spider decided to come out of the pits again. Fell awake the episode of Desperate Housewives they want to watch is now over, and they decide to turn into the track again. Jaffa Cake just kind of hits them into the side, spins out, and that's pretty much everything that happened, I believe. I believe that's pretty much all. Mecha Spider now has a big old dent, a pretty big dent in the door. Not losing that much position. Also Fast Boy driving off the track. I don't know why that happened, if there's anything. Okay, so yeah, there was a bit more than that apparently. So let's see. So yeah, there's Mecha Spider turning in again. Also Bordell hitting Scott Matthews, turning them out. So yeah, both of the cars that were turning into the track again, causing problems in the same corner. I don't know. This is definitely something else. So Scott Matthews turning into the track again. Bordell ramming them into the back, then turning them out. That's a nice then. And turning into the track again. Are we gonna have more of a crash? No, but there's 2 cars on the right that are trying to avoid the crash, and rightfully doing so, of course. And that's when the caution came out, basically. So we had 2 spins, both caused by 2 cars falling asleep in the pits, being 1 lap down. Pega doesn't even deliver on the order, and had to rely on Jaffa and Bardell. So yeah, we are finishing another race under Kosh. We're not. There definitely was a pace car. Now there isn't anymore, so we aren't finishing under caution, I guess. And Did I? Huh? Weren't we already in the last lap? Huh? I'm so confused. So yeah, that's a middle right now. Going into the last lap, I thought we're... Oh yeah, so now the caution... Okay, so the pace car was out. So wait, was the caution caused by something else? Because I'm so confused. Let's see if something else was going on here. Doesn't really look like anyone else did... anything else happened. But yeah, we are finishing the last lap in caution, under caution. Some cars still trying to catch the tail of the pace car line, but yeah, this is the end of the race. No, we were not. Yeah, I don't know. I was just really confused there. Okay, so I was wrong when saying that this is a pretty uneventful race. We definitely had a few things going on. Some cars clearly way too much going on, too many right turns, too many things happening to process, not really being able to do with all the change. So Scott Matthews and Max Spider, so some big issues in the pits, and again a caution caused by cars that were very slow and turning back onto the track. So this is basically a second caution caused by that. Fourth caution overall in the MIRD. We had one caution in every race at least, except Daytona, and we had 2 in Bristol, which is interesting because Daytona is more one of the really fast tracks. So pretty interesting that we didn't have a pace car section in that race. Matthews and Max Spider got confused and thought they already did 17 laps. Then they managers had to explain that it wasn't over. Yeah, that seems about right. So we actually have a first race victory for Winter Meadow now, which definitely helps them and their team to get back a bit. Of course, 12th place in the last race definitely helped as well. We have Rodfall in second, also really big boost for them. Aventus Flowchart in third, definitely cementing their place in first. I'm sorry. Definitely cementing their place in first. Speedy Max Zoom in fourth, Chiquita Milko in fifth. Also very much appreciate those points. Jazz Cranston, Winfrey Schrock at 7th. 8th we have Pinkelman, Bordell in 9th. Raven Cornwell rounding up the top 10. Brian Henderson 11th. Noah Niola. Jensen in 13th actually. Then we have Fastboy in 14th. Scott Matthews in second to last, because they were lapped. Binglepin 15th. Justin Hammond 16th. Mac Spider in last. The Avenger 17th. Bauer, Jaffa Cake, Cheryl Meadow, and Kawhi McDesu rounding out the pack as we are continuing to watch the pace, basically the pace car leading the pack, the race into the pits right now to end the race, because we just went over the race, over the start line, and we are donezo like Hanzo. Yeah, I'm just gonna let this play out so nobody accuses me of being like, oh, you turned off the race before it was over. I did not. So yeah, the first 2 cars that in the qualifying both kind of almost retired, so I'm sorry I couldn't tell you what happened there. So I just assume a mistake in the pits. Maybe they didn't pull the lug nuts properly, and therefore caused the tire to be loose. Something along those lines. Sadly, we cannot ask them for any statement yet. If they want to provide a statement, then they are free to do so. And I think the thing actually updated. Hell yeah, Grot, your thing is working. So this is the standings of the first race. Of course, MIRD Incorporated with their first win by Vincent Meadow, by all people, that was almost in last. Before these two races, now in first. In this race, it's in second to last in the overall standings. Before we started to our week's session, we have 4 different teams in the top 5. MIRD Incorporated, Firebrand, Pepega, and to be named. Chiquita Milka in 5th with the best placing yet. Jess Cranston, Winfrey Schrock, Pinkelman, Bordell, and Raven Cornwell running at the top 10. Brian Henderson and Noah Neola 11 and 12. Jane Sen, Fast Boy, Super Bingle, just the last name, Avenger, Abawa, Cake, Mirdo, McDesu, and Scott Matthews and Mecha Spider 2 laps down each, causing the last caution. Just do what you did this time next time. But Mirdo doesn't know what he did. I mean, I just did it like I usually do, and this time it works, and usually it doesn't. 2 overall scores. What changed? No, in the front, not much. Aventus Floucher still first, Fast Boy in second, and Jane Sen in third. Noah Neola in 4th. Right now, that race, that win last time helped them massively. Raven Cornwell in 5th so far. Best of the Aerogiri Heel cars. Speed Mix Zoom Zoom in 6th. Jaffa Cake falling down a bit. Jazz Cranston, Brian Henderson, and Abawa rounding out the top 10. Then we have all the MIRD Incorporated cars on the cut for the playoffs. Vincent Mirdo now in front of all of 3 of them. Alana Bodell and Cheryl Mirdo in 12th and 13th. So really nice team performance there. Just in the middle of the pack, all behind each other, with only 2 points apart each. That's kind of hilarious. Chiquita Milka boosting themselves up into 14th. Super Bingle in 15th. Quadful right on the 500 point thing, on the 500 point border, right before Joseph Peter Pinkelman, 17th. Scott Matthews, 18th. The Avenger, Winfrey Schrock rounding out the top 20. Mecha Spider, that race could have helped them so much, but it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be there, so that was really unfortunate. Could have really helped them going up a few places. Kawai Mekdesu in 22nd and in last, just the last name. Right now, Firebrand is the only team that wouldn't have any cars in the playoffs, but like I said, the playoff system might change. I have an idea that I need to run by my planning team, and I might announce that next stream, or there might even be a poll on Twitter. Can you do polls on Discord? I don't think there is. Anyway, this was the 4th race of the MIRD. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week we're gonna have race 5 and 6. Jester, you cannot have a new car. I'm very sorry. You may upgrade your car like all the others do in the Discord chat. I hope you enjoyed the show. Definitely really different than the other 2 races where I tried to show off some more of the track types. So now in the first 4 races we saw every type of track. And I'll see how to make this the most interesting for the first 10 races, and after that we might have some repeats for the playoffs. We'll see how we do that the best.